Well, hey, real estate fans. I'm Alice Lema. I am a real estate broker here in beautiful Southern Oregon, John L. Scott Real Estate. And this week, we're talking about slow and low. That's kind of our 2025 mid-year motto, slow sales and low prices for our mid-year report. Now, the slow and low feels like it's going to be over pretty soon, but we're not looking for any big drama either in the quantity of houses that we're going to be selling or the price points. Not price points, but the prices. We don't think the prices are going to change very much. And that feeds into our podcast today, the idea of slow and low. But I want to show you this National Association of Realtors chart. This is the NAR graph of existing home sales from 2021 to 2025. And you can see very clearly the dramatic decline from 2021 to now. But you can also see that 2025 is flattening out and maybe even trying to perk up. So I'm going to make a prediction, because you know how I love making predictions, that this is the beginning of an upward trend in the number of homes that we're going to be selling in Southern Oregon over the next couple of years. And later we're going to be talking about price, but I think that's going to happen too, but it's going to be slow and low. So that's how we came up with that title. So the prices for 2025 are just like barely peaking above what it was last year. And again, we have another chart from NAR, the National Association of Realtors, and you can see that a year ago we had about a 5% price growth appreciation, but now 2025 year over year, it's 1.3%. That's barely above stagnant, but it is something, and that's a national average. So we like to think that Southern Oregon does a little bit better than the national, just because we are a destination resort. We have all this beautiful landscaping. We have all these outdoor things that we can do. We have the two hospitals. We have the international airport. I know it's a tiny little airport, but it does have an international rating. And stuff like that brings value, and people like to live here because of that. And it makes us more valuable again. So, but the prices are, in my thinking, not going to do very much. In fact, by the end of the year, we'll just have to see what happens. But I'm thinking that we're going to finish the end of the year, the end of 2025, selling a few more houses. You know, that this month, June, is the beginning of an increase and a little bit picking up a little bit. But I don't think the prices are going to be much different. So locally, prices in all three counties are down year over year. And you can check out our market statistics podcast for a deeper dive on that. And the prices are down except for Klamath. And the listing inventory was up in all three counties. So again, if you want to check out more detail, you can go to the market statistics. But what's happening is the sellers that are taking advantage of the local sellers that are taking advantage of this more stable market are not only getting their houses sold, they're having to deal with lower prices because of lower demand. That's kind of what's happening. And some sellers are not playing ball with this kind of a market, and they're opting out and becoming accidental landlords. So we'll talk about that in another podcast, probably associated with the home nest property management. And that phenomena of accidental landlord has pros and cons, but it is a way for sellers to deal with their asset in this kind of a market. And that would be putting in a renter and waiting it out. But if you're going to sell and you want to take that money and do something else, see, that's the big question to ask is, what's the highest and best use of those funds in your life right now? And that's a conversation that we can have together, privately, but that's kind of the question to ask. So for sellers, that's kind of your choices right now. Buyers are continuing to take advantage of these market conditions because it's more in their favor, obviously. And they're not only getting good prices, they're getting some concessions, but it's not probably going to last as long as some buyers think. So buyers, if you're out there or you want to get out there, do it sooner than later, because even slow and low goes up in Southern Oregon. Our prices, if you look at the trajectory, it's always up. Even if it's going like up and down, long term, it's always up. So something else to keep in mind is we still don't have enough buyers for this market to absorb all the listings. So the local listing inventory is up again. I want to say it again. It's up in all 3 counties. And we started noticing it last fall, 2024, and we've been tracking it. So here we are. It's adding to the slow and low. So that's our podcast for today. Give me a call, give me a text. I want to be your agent. I'm a great listing agent, great buyer's agent, great with investing, also great with helping people decide what their next move should be, including downsizing, upsizing. Should you add to your investment portfolio? Should you start dissolving your investment portfolio? So I'll always give you my best opinion, and then I'll always do what you want. Okay. So give me a call, give me a text. And in the meantime, hug those you love. We'll see you next time. Bye now.